Hi everyone, welcome to my week 4 vlog. Today we are going to talk about 3D design principles. Every design piece has a structure below the surface that holds up the design and makes it visually interesting and balanced. Yes, you're guessing it right. That structure is known as the design principles. The principles of design are the rules that a designer follows to create an effective and attractive. The fundamental principles of design are emphasis, balance and alignment, contrast, repetition, proportion, movement, and white space. Now, these are generally the principles of design that every designer follows, irrespective of the type of design. However, in today's video, we would be talking about 3D design principles. Before getting to the principles of 3D design, I would like to explain what 3D means. 3D stands for three-dimensional. That means a 3D object does not only have height and width, but it has depth as well. The object has 3 key values assigned to it in order to understand where it exists within the space. Any object that has depth and volume is referred to as a form and not a shape. For example, a circle and a rectangle are shapes, but a sphere and a cube are forms. Now, getting to the principles of 3D design, the first one we have is harmony. Harmony is a principle of design, is the sense of cohesiveness between the elements in a composition. The elements should not be exactly the same, but not completely different as well. Color palettes and similar textures can create a sense of unity between different components. Using a similar form of item will create harmony because they will seem related. Contrast. Contrast refers to a level of difference between design elements in order to create visual hierarchies. In simple language, when we usually say that this design needs a pop of color, we're talking about that the design needs a contrast. Rhythm or repetition. Using repeated elements on a layout can be pleasing to the viewer. Repetition is repeating one single element throughout the design. Emphasis. Emphasis is a strategy to get the viewer's attention to a specific design element. This could be in any form, button, a website, or an image. The next principle is continuity. Continuity states that we are more likely to see continuous and smooth flowing lines rather than broken, jagged ones. This is because once our eyes The next principle that we're talking about is continuity. It states that a human eye is more likely to see continuous and smooth flowing lines rather than broken or jagged ones. This is because once our eyes begin to follow something, they will continue to travel in that direction. For instance, an excellent example of continuity principle is a line with an arrow at the end of it. Balance. Any element placed on a page carries a visual weight. It can range from form to size to color and texture. In order to make design feel stable or have balance, the elements need to have a certain scale. The last principle that we're talking about today is proportion. Proportion in the principle of design is the sense of unity created when all the elements in a composition relate well with each other. Proportion is mostly about scale and size when two elements are compared. For instance, in art and drawing, proportion is important for the elements to look realistic. Proportion as a principle of design does not necessarily refer to the size of one element, but to the relationship of two or more elements. Now, that was all the 3D design principles that I had to discuss. I did a little research about 3D animation and 3D design online as well, and I discovered a few artists' work that I really, really liked. One of them was a video created for MailChimp by Buck. I've attached the link to the project below. They use a limited set of basic shapes to build a cast of 18 characters. Another artist's work that I really liked was Siddhant Juwakar. He is a 3D illustrator. He's based in Mumbai, but he works globally. His latest work and projects can be recognized as his personal technique, I believe. He makes use of a lot of bright colors, and all of the shapes are rounded in his projects. I've attached the website and the social media links below. And the third artist that I want to talk about is Magali Gracia. She is based in Spain, and she's an illustrator and an animator. In her very recent project, she's worked on an animation related to social media. She has used a collaborative style of 3D animation and 2D cell animation, which I really liked. I've attached the link of her work below as well. I learned a lot while creating today's vlog, and it was very interesting to research the 3D artists and get to know their work and styles. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Adios.